To have you on board here on Good Morning Kenya. This is Eye on Politics. My name is Mike Migwi, and we are talking about UDA politics. And before we went on a break, I wanted Rotich to respond to the question of how you think these primaries have been conducted. What's your take on that?
Thank you so much, Mike. I think in any election that we have witnessed in this country, there are haves and there are have-nots. And what we are expecting in any election is a percentage, just a certain percentage of abiding to the law. Otherwise, as my brother said, that it was 100%, it has never been 100%. There's been ups and downs, people agreeing and disagreeing. Of course, that is very normal in electioneering, time like this one. But as to the importance of the party, you know, the strength of the party depends entirely on its membership. If the members are strong, if the leadership is strong, the party will be strong. Yes. And what the UDA actually is doing is crystallizing, is strengthening the party. And as my brother said, Mheshimiwa, he said about Nairobi, the influence of the ODM versus UDA. You know, majority of the elected leaders in Nairobi actually came through the ODM. And it is a fact that they are a party to be reckoned with, which of course the UDA is trying to unseat. And going forward, I believe with the good leadership, I mean the streamlining the party leadership in Nairobi of the UDA, I think they are going to make an impact. And you know, my brother said is that people will always would want to associate themselves with the party that is winning. And if the majority of the Nairobians will be perceiving or rather viewing that the next government will be UDA, I mean, by the way they look, they will most probably join UDA. Even you may be surprised that UDA may take up more than half of Nairobi, away from, from ODM. So that is a fact that we must, the ODM must be very careful and be a fact to it that Nairobi will change, and it will change for UDA. Don't relax that things are rosy and they are good for you. ODM. That may not be the real thing. As these people are actually crystallizing their strength on the ground, I expect the worst in the days to come as ODM. Yes.
Wakili, do you agree that UDA can unsettle the ODM dominance within the...
I honestly don't know, because I'm not a very good predictor in political sense to say that it will sit or not, it will unseat the ODM or not. But like the Honorable Rero is saying, we learn from the past history. But of course, if you look at what UDA did in 2022, then history may not be very important because it just came in and swept everybody. And even at Bomas, they swept everything. You are wondering, we always know that if people are in power, they will control certain instruments and apparatus, but the UDA just swept through. Yes. So I think I will leave it to the good politicians to exactly confirm who is likely to be the boss for the UDA in Nairobi. But we must commend what is happening, because these are party primaries. We must congratulate and actually commend the UDA for how they have conducted their primaries. Because of course, if there was any, small push and pull fights here and there, those ones are not in the threshold where we can be worried in terms of the growth of our democracy. The fact that the people in the wards and at the constituency level have been given a chance to participate in determining who becomes a leader is paramount and is extremely important. And by the way, that is why we are respected in the world now. That's why you see a superpower country inviting us and asking us to even participate in other global engagements. It is not just because UDA has a president called William Ruto, like Kenya has a president called William Ruto. No. It is these people study how we conduct our democratic activities, how we allow people to participate. And then, of course, how when you have been beaten, how you behave, how you go to the court, you go to the Supreme Court, and then a decision is made. Let me tell you, probably half of those decisions, or even 3/4, are wrong decisions. They are not really, what the honest results could reveal. But a referee is a referee. Even when he has gone wrong, we agree with the courts and we say, okay, fine, you've beaten me this time, I'll wait for another 5 years. So this activity of the primaries by the UDA must be looked at from the lenses of the law. It is the Political Parties Act that, you know, has stated that, you know, if you want to change your leadership, it should be through elections. And those elections as a process starts from the primaries, goes all the way. Now, another beautiful thing done by the voters in Nairobi, we do not know the final results, like Fadola is saying. They are now waiting for the county level elections. But at least the fact that at the village level, ward level, then come to what? Constituency, they are showing the governor dust. I mean, I feel for him. He should win. If it was within my sentiments and feelings, he should win. I mean, he has only started. He's the boss in Nairobi. He should win, at least to give him more, you know, encouragement to proceed in political leadership. But the fact that people are telling you, we will vote you out, is again a serious sign of the growth of our democracy. They are not schools, whether you clean the city, you say now Nairobi will work, that is okay, it's our money, but we will not vote for you. Not me, I mean, that's what the UDAs are saying, isn't it? So again, that is a sign of grown democracy. And I think we are to commend the UDA for that. So when they do the now county elections, if they again go that direction but come up and say, no, we want to vote for Sakaja, because he has not lost as yet, you know. I mean, he's got all the wherewithal nowadays. He has all the money, he has all the networks. He can go ahead actually and beat Gakuya again. No, you see, he doesn't want me to say that. I mean, I'm just saying it's a contest, Fadola. I mean, anybody can win. But in case he comes up and again he wins, we should not hear the likes of Fadola saying our elections have been stolen or what. You can say that, of course, but there should be no physical, you know, fights or blocking of the democratic processes. So I commend that kind of elections.
He has said something, that if Sakaja comes up and he monies and he pays, and that's what is happening on ground. Right now, politically, there's a term known as shakahola. Shakahola is where people go to get what he's saying, all right? And then the priest of Shakahola is Sakahola, all right? And I told you the last time I was here, there's a word in English known as abomination. And I told you President Ruto is dealing with abomi-continental. Rigiji is dealing with abomination. Gakuya is dealing with Abomi County. We have already won. Are
these spiritual terms or what?
We have already won Shakahola and Sakahola. And so I want to tell the people watching, this is what we are against in terms of money. We know Bazenga, what we call in ground, akona mukuchu, atukatai. But he is a leader, he is loved, he has been in this thing, and we are sending a message. And I would like to tell Muhesh, you know, he said, you know, this party, we have been here, you should learn. We are learning. Our party leader is a very good student who has learned from his boss, and he saw it 2022. So don't underestimate UDA. Don't underestimate where we are going. We have done it before, and like he says, 2022, if history is to go by, it ended in 2022. Now we are rewriting history. And UDA is a party to watch and learn, and we are there as incoming, and we'll
Mike, you know, I don't like being misquoted. My brother Fadola, if today, my brother Fadola, with tremendous respect, we don't know each other for long.
It's Fadela.
Fadela. Okay.
Fadela.
Yeah, Fadela, if Fadela today, with tremendous respect, if he had the money he wants, I don't know how much money his bank account has, but if he had the money he wants, today he would be sitting as a member of parliament. I'm telling you, because with this gusto, with this energy, he would be a member of parliament.
It's a question of timing.
So the question, when we talk about money, and we should be honest, when we talk about money, it is a factor in our politics. We would wish that it wasn't, but money in the United States, in the Europe, Asia, and here in Kenya is a factor. The only issue should be that when people are going to vote, they shouldn't be bribed. That is what the law is against. Yes. But in terms of you're coming to a town hall, whether a politician could buy tea, a politician would make sure he pays transport, that is not objectionable.
Let me close this. Let me close this. Let us be fair. Let us be fair.
Fadela also means fat hella. So we are coming.
Oh, I see. I just want to their account is fair.
You know, I'm not. I was not bragging about ODM.
Yes.
And my colleague also said that people will see which party is in power. so that they may shift their alliances when the voting time comes. But I want to tell, I said that the most politically enriched minds in this country are the Nairobians. ODM has never been in power, but they have always had the highest number of representation within Nairobi. So as ODM, we don't care which party is in power. The Nairobians who are in ODM, because they are aligned to the visions and of the ODM political party. So let them just chill. Whether the UDA conducts election, whether they are in power, the position of the minds of the Nairobians will always be the same, because ODM is a party with a clear vision and structure.
Yes. Let's shift gears and now talk about a story that is carried on the front page of the Star newspaper. They are saying how agencies ignored Ruto's foreign trips ban. Controller of budget says the institution spent 18.2 billion in the first 9 months of current financial year. Your reaction, Bwana Rotich?
I think the issue of foreign trips, Mike, we must also charge with what really comes out of it. You see, we've been so keen to know how much they have spent, and we have not been so keen to know how much they have brought. So the Kenyans actually, like the previous discussion that was in the air all over, that His Excellency the President has seen the tourist spend over a whooping 200 million. Which became a hoax. It was never true. And it is actually in the nature of Kenyans that they do speculate, they do what. But of course, we must also be very careful, Mike, as to who are these talkers. Where are they originating? Because there are people who have never seen any positivity that this government has actually done. They are always prone to opposing. They are always prone to negativity. They are always prone to, there are those who were in the previous government, whom up to today, they have never agreed that this government won. And these are the people who have always come up with negativity, shading all sorts of things that are not true. So, if we have to be true to ourselves, Mike, we must know, like now, the presidential trip to US, when you value what they came with, and you compare with less than 10 million shillings that they are saying that they actually spent, it is worth so much doing than really saying we were supposed to have sat back and now wait for things to come. It cannot happen like that, Mike. I think it is a high time that we look at these things with a lot of critique. And of course be positive of what we really want. What the pairing of the United States, not the United States, but the foreign trips. There are those trips that are even made by county governments, reckless trips, where they go for benchmarking, they go for what, and they spend whooping millions of money, which of course they are never realized when they come back. But with the trips of His Excellency the President, we have seen, we have read the worth of such trips, and that we should be rest assured that such trips have been worth more, than what we are actually losing in terms of the value of trips.
Ministries, departments, and government agencies, according to the Controller of Budget, have burned over 12.3 billion in domestic travel and 5.8 billion on foreign trips. And this comes in the wake where the president said we must cut on the austerity measures. What is your reaction to that?
My reaction is, as an economist, he said it very well. And we're dealing with a president who's very honest. This whole hula baloo of the jet and everything, I was watching and I was saying, I was just saying, God help me. I would like to have friends who can give me a jet of 10 million. Because my friends wananipatianga tray ya mayai tatu. So I realized
you're getting into a conversation that is very deep.
It's a very deep conversation.
But you are a fat hella.
That was a good one.
You see, here are two things. Where you have a father who can give you 1 million, and then you have a father who can give you advice. Those are two different people. And so when the president says, my budget was 20, he leads from the front. He said it. And you saw he is a doctor. We have never had a doctor president before. So he said he leads from the front, and he said his budget was 20 M and the friends said 10. Now, the other bit is that, like Dr. Rotich said, that mitigation, those benchmarking trips, if they are not bringing benefit, we shouldn't even analyze them. They should be banned. But here's the thing about the presidents, and I've read the book known as The President's Club. Nobody sees the effects of the president or talks about the positivity of the president while in office. It is when he is out of office that people begin to say he was doing something. Even our past presidents, we allude them and say, hey, they did something. So Dr. William Ruto is doing something, and like he said it very well, there are some people who are just born with negative energy. If you have energy, that energy, let it be positive to the point where you critique and criticize. But for me, when I looked at what the party was telling you, I was just saying, you know, this pressure of holding the hand, akiwa huko, me, if you're going to support me to become president, I will hold your hand every day. Every day, but kama una hiyo, tuache hiyo story.
How do we achieve, how do we enforce these austerity measures and ensure we do not spend monies on unnecessary foreign travel or within domestic
Thank you, Mike.
activities?
The simple trick to that is kupunguza kifua, like ego, like there should be no what will you do, so what? That attitude. If we can wear the attitude of saving the country's resources, then it will be different. And that can be borrowed from several other countries where presidents are not willing to overspend. Even by the virtue of the fact that you know if you go to Korea or to USA, you're likely to get $1 trillion, it does not justify then saying that I can spend up to 2 billion. After all, I am bringing 1 trillion. This is one view. The other view is the law. When you talk about public officers and how they spend, you are bringing them under the armpit of what we call Public Finance Act. The way the president would handle a friend's gift is stipulated under that act. And casually to come and say, you know, my friends gave me ABC, could it, thank you, could it translate to a bribe, or it translates to an influence that tomorrow when the friend is requesting for a favor, you could easily give that friend a favor against another poor Ishmael who has not given any gift. So when we talk about public service, it is a totally different ballgame. And anyway, you know, now our head of state has been recognized globally, and definitely there is more in terms of the kind of jealous and the kind of venom from other friendly countries who have not attained that same recognition. In terms of his travel, security and safety is paramount. Definitely for William Ruto, his safety and his security globally is actually paramount. When you look at how leaders, you know, conduct themselves, our head of state must take care of himself. But having said that, there is no excuse, Mike. For example, they are saying we have spent about 12 billion in local,
12.3 billion
in local travel.
Yes, that is
so you
ministries,
see,
departments, and agencies.
They are taking cue from the head of state. The moment the head of state travels in, you know, luxurious and all that, then the governor feels like, I am the mini president, quote unquote. I am the head of state for Nairobi, head of state for whatever, Nyamira. And you want to match that. I mean, you must jump as high as your teacher, if possible. So I think that in terms of traveling, Mike, the chief of staff and the concerned treasury ministry must put a cap. Even if it's the head of state, the issues to consider are safety and security of our president. After that, the issue of sleeping in the jet or doing this and that, that I think should be eliminated completely. And then the number of people you travel with. There's a young boy he traveled with, I'm sorry. There's a young man he traveled with. I don't even, I mean, there were so many people there who I don't know what they went for. So that people go to see him and look at basketballer and look at Steve Harvey. And you know, that level of excitement is honestly demeaning to our country. So I think that even the number of people you're traveling with should be critical people who are going to participate in the kind of negotiations you are going to do when you are bringing money. But if you carry the whole world, you want to carry everybody to be happy and all that, and then spend so much billions, it is actually unfair to the country.
Just to react to
Respond to that, then niende kwa mheshimiwa.
I think the people who are among the Treasury of the president was what actually having them. You know, when you talk about the youth of this nation, there are a lot of things that they have been hearing about the ICT, whatever, filming, and all this and that. And I tell you, Mike, whoever accompanied His Excellency the President was worth having in that plane. Why? It is because, you know, it had a wider representation. It represented the youth, it represented the women, it represented the leadership of this country. It represented even the ministries that we have in this country. So whatever the plan that as it was made in such a way that it was representative. If it is a youth of this country now is able to talk about the experience that they saw in the United States of America. So that is something that we must emulate in this nation. Yes. Whenever we are doing anything, let us combine, let us bring on board everybody, all in country, because youth matters in this country, women matters in this country, elderly people matters in this country. And when we have them on board, I think we are becoming a complete house.
Yes. Rotich, can you send those youth? Can you send the youth? Can you send the youth on their own?
I think they are through. Maybe you come this side.
Fadhela, I know you will defend. In the interest of time, let kwanza mheshimiwa respond.
We defend Butita.
Yes. Now
who is Butita?
The young man.
Set the question. Set the question.
What do you think of this? How agencies are using the public funds? Because even here the paper is saying Nyakango rejects another 58 billion budget request from the state.
I think that is what we needed to have been talking about with my colleagues here. The austerity measures.
Yes.
I think Nyakango is the controller of budgets.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to put her foot down.
Yes.
She's from the mountain. I didn't know we can have such tough ladies from those sides. Not this mountain. You also have a mountain of Kisii. Is also a mountain.
Yeah. She's from Nyamira.
Yeah. So, you see, I look at the former president. One of the presidents who brought this country, even the GDP, to a very high level was Mike Migwi, a great economist. Throughout his 2 terms, he never traveled outside this country more than 10 times. The records are there. But he ensured that there was gradual and progressive economic growth in this country.
Yes.
He introduced measures, domestic borrowing. He brought in, he made Wakina Oduor, those who had a critical mind to make sure that we have growth in this country. We cannot talk of austerity measures and we spend 18-point-something billion when you look at both foreign and local trips. Yet, we can use 18 billion to employ all the teachers in this country on a permanent and pensionable basis. The 46,000 that we require less than 18 billion to be employed, and we sort out the education system in this country. So we must put our priorities right. And if we have to move this country, our foreign debt is more than 9 trillion.
Yes.
So if we have to move, it means that we have to have measures that will bring down the expenditure appropriately within our limits. But if we are going to operate from without our limits, then we are not going to talk about these austerity measures. Let's when we analyze the trip of the president, we became the major non-NATO alliance. We need to look at really what does it come with in terms of security of our country and also our relation with other countries to Kenya. So this 18, we need to look at it, and I support the control of budgets. Even as a member of parliament over my oversight role, we need to bring this down to help us control the economy of this country.
Thank you, gentlemen. In the interest of time, 30 seconds each, your parting shot.
Thank you so much, Mike.
30
I think my
seconds.
parting shot is that we are all in agreement that this country should actually reduce the cost of living.
Yes.
Because that is something that is widely spoken by Kenyans.
Yes.
It is so loud.
Yeah.
And even in the budget that is coming,
Yeah.
they must look into the ordinary mwananchi on how we should handle or how we can bring down the cost of living
Yes.
in this country.
Fadela.
My camera, to the Kanairo Nairobians, thank you so much for supporting the UDA Nairobi boss incoming, Honorable Gakuya. Na hii lazima tu finish kumalo kama kawaida. Shakahola imeisha, Sakahola ameenda, Bazenga ndio kusema hii Kanairo. Asante sana.
Wakili.
Thank you, Mike. Why is the church failing Kenyans? This is my major concern. Why is the church offering a podium and a forum where politicians can jostle and fight each other? The church has forgotten its major role of saving souls from their bigger problems on earth and take them to the lane of God. Why has the church become captive? This is my major concern.
Yes. Mheshimiwa.
I just want to thank KBC for inviting us for such an elaborate talk with good minds. But lastly, I would not be here without Kibra members who voted for me to represent them in Parliament. I want to thank them.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for gracing our show. That is Mheshimiwa Peter Orero, who is the MP for Kibra, and also Wakili Arnold Jaribo.
Actually, Ishmael Jaribo.
Ishmael Jaribo.
Thank you.
Okay. And also Dr. Rotich Joseph, who is a political analyst, and Jasiel Njawa, aka Fadela. Asanteni sana for coming on the show. This is where we end Matters Eye on Politics. Be sure to continue watching Good Morning Kenya because there is more in line for you. My name is Mike Migwi. Bye-bye for now.